You said it's a supply and demand.
It is. That's all it is. It's all supply and demand. And when the supply gets smaller and the demand keeps growing, the prices go up. And people start stretching and going into neighborhoods they might not have looked at before. You know, we talked about Fort Davis, Fort DuPont. You know, we've seen some really nice sales there in the last few months. It's all because they're affordable. And that's kind of one of the last bastions of where you can buy an affordable, nice house in the District of Columbia.
What some find affordable, others, a good segment of our population, are being priced out.
Absolutely. Sale prices go up, rental prices go up. Rental prices go up because of the demand, but they also go up because a lot of times when an area will change, and Capitol Hill was the same way, a lot of things that were being used as rental properties go off the market and they're bought by homeowner occupants. I could put 50 rental properties on the market tomorrow, single family, 49 of them, if not 50, would go to owner occupants. So there are 50 properties off the market. On Capitol Hill in 1968 after the riots, guys were walking around here with bags of money buying properties for almost nothing. They weren't buying them to live in, they were buying them as investment properties. And some of these guys might have 200, 300, 400 single family homes that they kept over a period of 30 years and didn't put a whole lot of money in them usually. They were run down, but they were cheap. And when markets heat up and they can get a really good return on their investment, or they're dying, their estate sells them, or the capital gains shifts and they can sell them, they go off the market and they're gone forever.
Talk about, since we're here on Capitol Hill, and I recently did a story about Fragers and talked to a lot of residents who said, you know, the quaintness of Capitol Hill is changing. The older homes, yes, they're still here, but with the condos comes some whitewashing, I guess, for lack of a better term, of our neighborhood.
Sure, but you're getting younger people usually in those condos. You're getting areas. Behind you can see the Hine Junior High site. Hine was 40–50% occupied when they closed it. That entire square was a dead spot. Now there's a Trader Joe's there. There's a strip of commercial spaces, which I'm sure will include a couple of restaurants. There's a bunch of new office space, which puts office people on the street during the day that can help support our restaurants. That they don't just open up at 5 o'clock, they're paying bills all around the clock. So it makes a lot of more things like that more viable. But you know, I don't want to live in a neighborhood where everybody looks like me, they're older, they're white, and there's no life around me.
What do you think when people do, embrace the term gentrification and define it as people who move into the neighborhood but want to take over the neighborhood, don't recognize or appreciate the culture that made it appealing in the first place?
Things are going to change. Let me tell you, I was deeply involved with this little school behind me. I was on their board for 12 years. I was chairman of the board for 4 years. The first year I'm out of there, I go back for a new parent welcome day. And the lady answered the door and she shook my hand and said, "Do you have children coming to the school?" They forgot me that fast. Nobody's going to remember that a group of people basically locked arms and chained themselves to a bulldozer at 4th and East Capitol Street to keep the church over there from bulldozing down the Blue Mirror and some other properties. And it was the beginning of the historic movement. We've got the largest historic district in the country here. They were going to bring 95 right down past Lincoln Park. And they were going to, over there, they were bulldozing down the rest of all those beautiful townhouses. Nobody's going to remember who actually stopped that. Times change. These kids, if anything, we have trouble getting them involved on the more traditional organizations, the Capitol Community Foundation, the business groups, everything I'm on, they struggle to get these younger people they're involved with their own lives and their families like the rest of us are. They don't seem to have, most of them, enough time to come put into something that's for the greater community.
So is that the beginning of the decay of our neighborhoods?
No, not at all. No. Things will move along, new organizations will pop up. Some of these younger people will get a little older and realize that this is worth the investment of their time. This neighborhood is on an upswing, and listen, I've been through 2 major real estate depressions, lost my butt both times. I didn't see either one of those coming either. So right now, I don't see anything on the horizon that can slow this thing down. You go to Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, unfortunately not as much, Washington, D.C., all those inner cities which were dying 20 years ago are thriving now. They can't build them fast enough. They can't make enough room for this population that would rather live here than way outside the Beltway in 5,000 square feet with a swimming pool. They want to be here in a 1,000-foot condo where they can get out and they can walk to the ball game